Welcome everybody to Chop Block with Daniel Berger, episode 5, where we'll be reviewing last week's divisional round, previewing this week's conference championships, and concluding with bold predictions. Let's begin with the first game of the divisional round, the Indianapolis Colts going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Chiefs won this game 31-13. Andrew Luck, not a great performance, 19 of 36 for 203 yards and 1 touchdown. The surprising thing in this game is I mentioned the only thing the Chiefs' defense is good at is getting to the passer. They did just that against one of the league's best offensive lines, sacked Andrew Luck 3 times, also recorded a fumble that they recovered in a potentially momentous time for the Colts. And they shut down Marlon Mack, as I predicted. Mack limited to 9 carries for 46 yards. That seriously held the Colts offense back. And you got to give the Chiefs credit. They took T.Y. Hilton and Eric Ebron out of this game. T.Y. Hilton limited to 4 receptions on 11 targets, and Eric Ebron 5 receptions on 9 targets. And the Chiefs' defense was phenomenal in this game. The Colts were 0 for 9 on third down. They started this game with 4 straight 3-and-outs, and they were in a 17-0 hole because of that. You can't win a game with those kind of numbers. You would think the one constant for the Colts would be their kicking game. They have Adam Vinatieri as their kicker, one of the most clutch kickers we've seen in the postseason. 2001 with the New England Patriots, he had those 2 insanely clutch kicks against the Oakland Raiders in the snow. He was the last person you would think was going to have a bad game against the Chiefs, even if it was inclement weather. And wow, Adam Vinatieri, missing a 23-yard field goal before the half, negating a 70-yard drive where the Colts were able to get the ball to the Chiefs' 5-yard line. They ended up with 0 points at the end of the first half. And then, maybe even more surprising, he missed the extra point later on in the game. Now, the extra point is further than the actual field goal he attempted, but you would think after already missing that first kick in the game, he'd make some adjustments to his kicking form. He missed this wide right, and it was his second miss of the game. Charles Woodson was tweeting out, "Wow, now you miss." And he's right. I mean, the Chiefs took control of this game. The Colts had very little chance of winning, and Vinatieri, shockingly, was the icing on the cake for the Chiefs. Now for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, 27 of 41, 278 yards, was sacked 4 times, but the way he was throwing the ball, it didn't look like it was snowing there. It didn't look like it was freezing there. He was throwing the ball with ease, and of course he had help from his running game. Damian Williams, 25 carries, 129 yards, and 1 touchdown. They dominated time of possession, basically possessing the ball for 40 minutes, and as I mentioned, their defense didn't allow a touchdown until there were 3 minutes left in the game. An offensive touchdown. The Colts did get a touchdown earlier in the game from a blocked punt. Their defense held strong, not allowing a touchdown until there were 3 minutes left. And the Chiefs' offense was 3 of 4 in the red zone. So when they're converting in the red zone, their defense is holding it down. Easy win for the Chiefs. Moving on to the second Saturday game, Dallas Cowboys going to Los Angeles to play the Rams. Rams won this game 30-22. And for the Cowboys, well, their tendency to perform poorly on the road continues. Dak Prescott actually had a pretty solid game, 20 of 32, 266 yards, with 1 passing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown. The difference for the Cowboys on offense, obviously you got to point to Ezekiel Elliott. 20 carries, only 47 yards, did get a touchdown, but his lack of success was because of a few things. Ndamukong Suh played a great game. He and Aaron Donald, when you have those 2 massive humans in the middle of the Rams' defense, they're hard to push around. Cowboys couldn't do it. They clogged up the lanes. And Scott Linehan is the other person you got to point to. Linehan has been very predictable with his play calling. Since 2015, he's been running the same plays, runs right up the middle. Defenses catch on. and you can't rely on overpowering other teams. You have to scheme accordingly. Cowboys couldn't do that. They were too predictable. Rams shut it down early. Cowboys only 1 of 10 on third down. They did get some fourth downs in this game. They were 3 of 4 on fourth down. But the big one that they didn't get, the third run up the middle, Linehan called on fourth down. Rams were sitting on it, stuffed Elliott. Rams got all the momentum and took the game. Defensively for the Cowboys, look, they couldn't stop the Rams. I'm sorry. This is one of the best rushing defenses in the league. They could not stop the Rams. I understand the Rams' offensive line is phenomenal. They have Todd Gurley, who's one of the, if not the best running back in the league. But also C.J. Anderson. Give that man some respect. Anderson, the leading rusher for the Rams, 23 carries, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was a human bowling ball out there. And Todd Gurley, they were like thunder and lightning. With C.J. Anderson, the thunder, and Todd Gurley, the lightning. 16 carries for Gurley, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown. Goff didn't need to do much. 15 of 28 for 186 yards. He was efficient when he needed to be. He had a great play-action game to go to because of all their rushing success. Their offense was unstoppable in this game. Cowboys only could stop them in the red zone and keep them to field goals, but they punted once in this game. When a team's only punting once, you don't really have much a chance to beat them. They were dominating time of possession because of how much they had the ball. Cowboys couldn't really get anything going, and the Cowboys just didn't look like a team that deserved to move on, and the Rams looked like a complete team. They had some flaws, but we'll talk about that more when we preview their next game. First Sunday game, Los Angeles Chargers going to New England to play the Patriots. Patriots win this game easily, 41-28. Chargers defense played phenomenal against the Ravens in the wild card. They were absolutely exposed against the Patriots, particularly in the running game. Patriots scored touchdowns on their first 4 drives against the Chargers. They took the Chargers right out of the game. Their first drive of the game lasted 7 minutes on offense. The Patriots completely controlled this game. It wasn't even close. And when they finally punted, up 28-7, when they punted for the first time, the Chargers fumbled it. Patriots recovered. They went right back down the field and scored another touchdown, giving them a 35-7 lead at halftime. What more is there to say? Chargers allowed about 500 total yards on offense. Melvin Gordon couldn't get going for them. He only rushed for 15 yards on 9 carries. Phillip Rivers, not in a great game, 25 of 51. So that's below 50% completion percentage. 331 yards because he kept throwing the ball at the end of the game. 3 touchdowns and an interception. As I said, the Patriots just controlled this game, and it started with their running game. Sony Michel, 24 carries, 129 yards. Tom Brady had the play-action game to help him out, and 34-44, 343 yards, 1 touchdown. It wasn't just the play-action that helped him. It was getting rid of the ball quickly. As I said, that's what the Patriots tried to do. Brady was getting it out to Edelman, his leading receiver, 9 receptions, 151 yards. And James White, his check down target, 15 receptions for 97 yards, 17 targets for White. Look for White to play a big role next week. These Patriot running backs, they're very underrated. They may not be Todd Gurley or Saquon Barkley, but they're efficient at what they do. That's what every Patriots player is. They do what they need to do to help the offense. Sony Michel finds the hole, runs it well, and James White is proving to be a great safety blanket for Tom Brady. When he's about to get sacked, he'll give it to White and get a pretty solid gain. Moving on to Sunday's last game, the Philadelphia Eagles going to New Orleans to play the Saints. Saints won this game 20-14. They were down in a 14-0 hole. Game started in the complete opposite direction of what you would expect. Drew Brees, on the first play of the game, throws an interception. Foles drives them down the field for a touchdown. Next drive for the Eagles, another touchdown. 14-0 Eagles right off the bat. But the Saints picked it up, and it was due to a gutsy play call by Sean Payton, opting to fake punt it using Taysom Hill as the up back. Got just enough for the first down, switched the momentum for the Saints, and they ran with it. Drew Brees, 28 of 38, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have that interception. Alvin Kamara, the leading back for the Saints, 16 carries for 71 yards, also 4 receptions for 35 yards. Mark Ingram also got his share, 9 carries for 53 yards. The difference for the Saints, as predicted, Michael Thomas. I said he was going to have a big game, just like Allen Robinson did against them the week before. I expected about 150 yards and a touchdown from him. He surpassed that. 12 receptions, 171 yards, and a touchdown for one of the best receivers in the game. When they needed him, he showed up. He was there. You would think with the lack of receivers the Saints have, you just have to cover Michael Thomas, and still the Eagles couldn't do that. Every third down, Thomas was there. And that led to the Saints controlling time of possession. That's the recurring theme from this week. The teams that won dominated the time of possession. I sound like a broken record saying it about every game, but it's true. The teams that are winning are controlling the clock. They're not letting the other team get the ball on offense, and it's working. How can the other team score if they're not getting the ball? It wasn't just the Saints' offense that was doing great things, it was their defense. They were stopping the Eagles, limiting them to 2 of 7 on third down, which is not what you would expect from Nick Foles, who's been great in those pressure situations, third down, fourth down, red zone. And Foles finished the game 18 of 31, 201 yards, a touchdown with 2 interceptions. Wendell Smallwood, 10 carries for 33 yards, so the lack of the rushing game did hurt the Eagles. My question is, where was Josh Adams at? He's been proving himself this year for the Eagles. To me, he looked like the feature back that they should want in the game, and he was nowhere to be found. As I mentioned, the turning point in this game was the fake punt. After the Eagles' second touchdown, and they were up 14-0, their longest drive lasted 5 plays, and it resulted in a punt. The Eagles almost got lucky again, and I thought they were going to get lucky. Cody Parkey last week, we know, missed the 43-yard field goal, cost the Bears the chance to go to the divisional round. Will Lutz, who's been one of the most accurate kickers in the league this year, missed a costly 50-plus yard field goal. Eagles get the ball with excellent field position. And with Nick Foles on the other side, it's almost expected at this point that they get a touchdown. But he threw an interception. Wasn't Foles' fault. Alshon Jeffrey, who at one point said he thinks he has the best hands in the game, dropped an easy reception, fell right into the hands of Marshawn Lattimore, and he sealed the game with his second interception of the game. So the Philadelphia Eagles Cinderella run, so to speak, ends. Most likely Nick Foles' era in Philadelphia comes to an end, and the Saints are moving on to the NFC divisional round. Okay, we're going to be back after this. Welcome back to Chop Block with Daniel Berger, Episode 5. Now we're going to be previewing the 2 conference championship games, beginning with the NFC, the first game, Sunday, between the Los Angeles Rams and the New Orleans Saints, once again being played in New Orleans. This is a rematch from one of the more exciting regular season games earlier this season that saw the New Orleans Saints defeating the Los Angeles Rams 45-35. The reason the Saints have home field advantage, with that game being the tiebreaker. For the Rams, they're going to need a great game out of Aqib Talib. Against the Cowboys, this Rams secondary was pretty terrible, especially Marcus Peters. He talks a lot of crap, and he was kind of shown up in this game. Michael Gallup had a huge reception to set the Cowboys up with 1st and goal at about the 2-yard line. And that was Marcus Peters' fault. He abandoned his zone. They were playing a cover 3. Peters went to the middle, left the side wide open, and Gallup caught an easy over-the-shoulder catch. The question will be for the Rams, can they stop Michael Thomas? They can only stop Michael Thomas if Aqib Talib is covering him. Now keep in mind, the Rams didn't have Aqib Talib playing. He was hurt when these two teams last met. So Aqib Talib is going to be the X factor for the Rams on defense. We know how great Aaron Donald is at getting to the quarterback. We know how good their line is. But can Aqib Talib cover Michael Thomas? If he can, it's going to be a long day for the Saints passing game. Benjamin Watson, the tight end for the Saints, is going to be out in this game due to an appendix, I believe. So Thomas is the go-to guy receiving. Can they stop him? And for the Saints, the same thing goes. Can their passing defense stop the Rams? Their passing defense has improved. They've acquired Eli Apple from the Giants. He has improved over the season. He's looking better now. The Saints secondary is much better than the Rams secondary. And Drew Brees is much better than Jared Goff. So you would think that the Saints would be able to put up better passing numbers than the Rams, especially in the Superdome. But it depends on Aqib Talib. Coaching-wise, can Sean McVay, the young and creative mind that's already establishing his own coaching tree, can this hyped-up coach, who is 32 years of age, can he outcoach Sean Payton? These two coaches are pretty evenly matched, but for me, the deciding factor is the Saints having home field advantage. Sean Payton and Drew Brees, win together in New Orleans, are undefeated at home in the postseason. And I took the Saints preseason as my Super Bowl pick in the NFC because of this combination and because of their running backs being so dynamic. I think the Saints take this one. I say 31-27 Saints. They go to the Super Bowl. Now, who will they be playing? That depends who wins the AFC Championship game being played in Arrowhead between the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes and the Chiefs have been incredible this year, especially at home. They're 7-1 at home this year. Their only loss coming by the Los Angeles Chargers, 29-28, when Rivers and Mike Williams connected with that 2-point conversion. This is another big game coming for the Chiefs offense. I see them putting up great numbers against the Patriots. They had a great performance in the regular season against the Patriots when they lost 43-40, but it was their defense that let them down in this game. The question, obviously, how will the Chiefs' defense do against the Patriots? Can they contain the Patriots' running attack and therefore prevent the play action from having as much success as the Patriots had against the Chargers? And I think the Chiefs actually do contain the running game. I don't think that Sony Michel will run for over 80 yards in this game. The difference will be Tom Brady is going to do exactly what he did against the Chargers. He's going to dink and doink the ball with James White. He'll find the open man. He won't be sacked in this game. And he's going to shred the defense. And the Chiefs won't get any sacks against him. It's going to be a high-scoring game. And I think that's what everyone expects. Patriots were my AFC Super Bowl prediction because they haven't shown me anything to pick against them. With the amount of success that Brady and Belichick have had, if there's one thing anyone knows, it's that you don't bet against them. Nobody has really been able to beat the Patriots in the postseason. Patriots are going to show why Sunday by beating the Chiefs 38-31, which will set up a Patriots and Saints Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be back with bold predictions after this. Welcome to Chop Block with Daniel Berger, episode 5. Now we're down to our final segment, bold predictions. Let's begin with bold prediction number 1. James White will have another big receiving game. He proved to be a lethal check down target against the Chargers last week. And with the Chiefs pass rushers playing as well as they did against the Colts, I expect Tom Brady to need to get rid of the ball quickly. He'll look for Edelman and he'll look for White. White is going to have at least 10 receptions for 70 yards in this game. Bold prediction number 2. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mahomes rises up in big occasions. He's earned the nickname Showtime Mahomes. This season, he's thrown for 375 plus yards and 3 touchdowns together twice. He did that against the Browns in Week 9, and he had that extremely great game against the Rams in Week 11. He did throw the 2 interceptions in that game, which hurt them. But I see this Chiefs offense being very lethal in the game, and the defense being their Achilles heel. Bold prediction number 3. This ties in with bold prediction number 2. Tyreek Hill is going to have at least 150 receiving yards. Tyreek Hill is a deep threat. Nobody can catch up to him. He is incredibly fast. He might be the fastest player in the league. He's nicknamed Cheetah, and rightfully so. Last game against the New England Patriots, Tyreek Hill had 7 receptions for 142 yards with a long of 75 yards. Look for him to play a big role in this game. You gotta figure the Patriots, they love to take the best player out of the game. I think they go after Travis Kelce in this game. They're going to try and double him, make sure Mahomes can't get it to Kelce. So I think Tyreek Hill is going to catch some long balls in this game. The weather may not be great, but even 150 total yards. I mean, with the jet sweeps and everything that the Chiefs do in that offense, I see Tyreek Hill having a huge game for the Chiefs offense and contributing to them putting up over 30 points against the Patriots. Finally, bold prediction number 4. Going to the NFC now, Alvin Kamara will score 3 touchdowns against the Rams. Thomas is going to attract a lot of attention in the secondary. I mentioned that the Rams should put Aqib Talib on him because Marcus Peters has been struggling recently and their secondary hasn't been very good. In the flat, Alvin Kamara is a very dangerous receiver. Announcers have hyped him up to be one of the best receivers in the game, and I believe it. He might not have the hands that DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones or Odell Beckham Jr. has, but he runs his routes very well. He's got great speed. He's very elusive when he has the ball. He's deceptively strong. He's about 215 pounds. Kamara is going to be dangerous in the passing game and the running game for the Saints. He'll be the featured back for them in this game, and he should be. I expect him to be the main contributor on offense for the Saints because they're also going to need to run the ball away from Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. If you're trying to run the ball up the middle at those 2 nose tackles, it's going to be brutal. So look for them to get Kamara involved with jet sweeps or runs to the outside, putting Taysom Hill at quarterback even, running the option with those 2, throwing some passes. But I see Alvin Kamara having a big game for the New Orleans Saints offense, scoring 3 touchdowns against the Rams, helping the Saints get to the Super Bowl. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This may or may not be my last podcast, depending on my schedule for next week. If it is, I truly appreciate you all listening. It's been a good ride. Shout out to Kevin McLeod from Incompetech.com for the music, as always. Enjoy your football over the weekend. Should be 2 exciting games. We've got the 4 best offenses in the league. Enjoy. This is Daniel Berger, signing off.